Hey guys, back at it with another roulette strategy to put against a survival test. This test was created in a longer format to highlight the potential pros and cons of a strategy, weeding out the good ones from the bad ones. Then as a community, we modify and refine the good ones to make them even better. If it survives that process, we can then program it into the new Viper Strategies software on my other channel. Link to the channel will be in the description below if that's something that interests you. On this test, every strategy will get a fair shake at 90 spins. That equates to about an hour and a half of live playing time in the casino. So there will not be a time limit. We are going to play out all 90 spins or until the system fails. All results are unedited. All videos are posted, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Every system will receive a grade on performance that's posted at the end of each video. And if you are new to the channel and want to join us on the quest to finding the best, subscribe now and hit that notification bell to stay up to date, because it won't hurt you none, but it might help you some. Hey guys, so back at it with another strategy to test. This is something I've been building and working on. We do have a similar strategy set up in the Viper Strategies software, but I just wanted to see how it would run playing it manually. So I adjusted it down to use splits. I'm calling this one split zones, and we are going to have a total coverage. I am going to show you the wheel right now. So what we're going to do is these splits that we're going to bet on are methodically placed. The reason they're methodically placed, as you can see, we have a total coverage of 24 numbers, right? Those are two big landing zones on opposite sides of the wheel. So we're not placing these bets according to the table. We are placing these bets according to the wheel and how they line up. The idea behind this is I've been doing some analysis with AI, right? I've been running some real data sets into AI to see like what the streaks, what the nemesis of the strategy is. And here's a good analogy for you guys, right? A lot of you guys like, well, actually one guy mentioned in one of my previous videos, he likes even coverage. Well, look at the wheel and you could see black numbers are very even. Red numbers are very even, right? There's a gap in between. But what happens, and many of you guys that's played for a long time, you'll see color streaks sometimes hit 15, 20 in a row or more. I've seen up to 26 to 30 in a row, and that has very even coverage. So what is that? Some of you guys might say it might be some trickery and some stuff the casino's doing. I don't doubt that, but I'm just trying to bend those odds into my favor. And AI says that covering this amount of space, right? So you got the 12 numbers on the top, 12 numbers on the bottom, total of 24 numbers. The possibility of streaks happening average a miss of 5 to 6 times. Okay. And then with this much coverage on a single zero European wheel, 24 number coverage, your win percentage is 64.86%, almost 65%. And on a double zero, it's at 63.16%. That's your expected win rate. I know that doesn't always happen. These are averages throughout long periods of spins. But let's just go ahead and jump into it now, and then we'll place out our bet. So I'm going to run these two separately, right? And this is something I've been working on, so I do kind of want to see. I'm going to run these tests and kind of see what the max down draw is so we could recalculate that bankroll. And speaking of bankroll, that's something, if you're new to the channel or have not seen yet, down in the description, I will have a free PDF guide along with a free tutorial on bankroll resizing along with a bonus video. Okay, this is all about bankroll management. It shows you in depth how the pros actually use this to basically make a living off, right? And I'm not saying you have to make a living off of it, but if you want to take it serious, you need to keep track of your wins and losses. I go into detail, so go ahead and check that link down in the description below. So let's go ahead and jump into this video. First setup, for all you guys that love covering zeros as a hedge bet, I personally don't like to do it because I just see them as other numbers and they pay out exactly the same. I think we put too much emphasis on those numbers. But in this case, it makes sense because you can see that's part of our landing zone. And I made it that way specifically so I could cover some zeros. Okay, so we're going to place out our first zone. Our first zone, we're going to put all the splits out here at $1 a piece. Okay, so we have a total bet of $6 covering 12 numbers. All right, This is going to be spin number 1. We're going to track our highs, track our lows, and I'll explain the progression as we go. Started off with the loss. We're going to repeat our bet, and we are going to spin again. We're not increasing at this point. And we did not get a hit within those first two. So here's where the progression changes. We are going to go up a unit each spot, simply double. Now what we're going to do is we're going to introduce all 24 numbers at this point. I was just doing 12 to hopefully get some early hits. Didn't pan out. So currently we are at minus 12 after 2 hits. So now the next set of numbers we put in are these splits. We're going to go at $1 a piece. The 8, 9, 11, 12, 7, 10. Oops, let me fix that. 7, 10. So 3 splits right there. Then we're going to go over here to the other side. We're going to cover the 25, 28, the 26, 27, 29, 30. Okay, so now you can see we are at different levels of progression, covering 12. So we're treating each set of 12 separately. Okay, so let's go ahead and spin. Now we have a total bet of $18, and let's see what we get here. All right, so that's a break even. So since that set of 12 hit, we're going to keep it right there. The other ones, the other ones missed, so we're going to increase that by 1 each. So now we have an offset going on right now. And we get a 6. So a miss on both, you're going to increase both by 1 unit. So these go up. Everything goes up 1 unit. The progression is very basic with this one. This one's still in beta. I'm still testing it out. I just want to run this test to see how it pans out using a very basic progression. All right, we got a $36 hit. We are back to our base level bet. Okay, so on those ones, what hit? We're going to look at the 23. 23, we have $4 a piece on. The other ones we peppered in, we're going to go up a unit. So whatever missed, you're going to add a unit to. And you're treating them in 12 number sets. So basically 6 of the split bets. All right, so that's a total loss. Total loss, they all go up 1 unit. And remember, we should be winning more times than not. That's why I mentioned the percentages. We should be hitting on a double, which we're playing right now at a little slightly over 63%. So let's go ahead and spin. And we did hit our low so far. But we got a 27 red. That's an $18 hit. So we're going to repeat our bet. And that one is at 4. So the other bets go up. Those ones stay there. Up by 1. And I'm really just using this so I could keep track better. Obviously, when I'm using the software, I can make these the calculations will do it. It will calculate by itself, right? So I could put a custom progression and it's going to follow that to the T. This way, it's harder to do that when you're playing manual in this manner. But I just wanted to give it a test to see if it is possible and if it makes sense to do so. All right, so we got a 2. I think that's another hit. And okay, finally. Okay, so $48. We are in a new session profit. Okay, so we are playing these 2 separate progressions in sets of 12, right? The idea behind this is we're playing this as one session, even though we have 2 separate progressions. So what you can do is you can set up milestone goals where you continue and reset the entire thing until you're up a specific amount. In this case, I could set that at 20 or 50 or whatever, or lower if you want. I'm just going to reset a new session profit, okay? Just to keep this and err on the safe side because I don't like to use a lot of my bankroll. So we're going back to our base level bet at this point. So we're going to go to that first set of 12 numbers. And this is the layout. It's easy to remember. Actually, the second set of 12 numbers is follows a better pattern, so it's easy to remember. But this is fairly easy to remember. So we got a total of 6 bets, $1 a piece, 12 numbers with the splits. So back to base we are, and let's see what we get. We are in session profit. We dipped -42 so far. We got a loss right there. So we're going to hold our bet one more time. Hopefully we could get an early win. This is spin number 10. And if you guys have any input on this, let me know. This is what this channel is about. We spitball ideas and make things better. Look at that. So we are in a new session profit. We're up $30. So we are at our base level bet, but we're gonna restart that count. Okay, so we're gonna keep it at base, restart the account. So again, at this level, we have another miss before we throw in the other set of 12 numbers. All right, so we got a miss right there. We're gonna hold our bet here one more time and spin. Let's see if we could get another early win. Hopefully we do. And I think that we got a win right there. That's a 36 red. So we are in new session profit at $36. All right, so we are going to reset our count and keep it here at $6. Let's see if we could get a first win. And we didn't. That's a 20 black. One of my favorite numbers to play, but it's not helping us on this strategy. So we're going to hold our bet here one more time, see what we get. Keeping in mind our session high is at 36. And boom, look at that. On that second one, we got look at that, $12 win. Okay, let me just track this real quick. We got $42, new session profit. Again, we're going to hold our bet here, reset the count on the progression. So still at our base level bet. And just missed that one. All right, so we're going to hold our bet here one more time and spin. Again, if we get a loss here, that's when the next set of 12 numbers come in. And I think that's a miss. All right, so that's a miss. Right here, we're going to go ahead and double up. That's only adding another unit. So now we have 2 units on each of those 12 numbers. Now we throw in our next set of numbers. So the placement on this one's a lot easier. These are going in at $1 a piece. So this makes like a little triangle, right? So it goes like that and like that. So it's easy to keep track what the difference is. So you're basically playing that 1, 2, 3rd double street, and then that first double street in that third dozen. So let's spin and see what we get here. So now we just boost it up. That's why I like this. I think this is good because now, what do we get right there? We got a beautiful $18 win. Now you just increase your odds of hitting, right? So we are at 48. And I said I would reset a new session profit, and I'm going to follow that. I think that's the safer play. All right, previously we're at 42, but we are in new session profit. So let's go back to our base level bet. And we are covering these numbers right here. And here. Let's see if we could get a win right off the bat. I just missed it. All right, that's okay. Let's hold our bet here one more time and spin again. And I think adding in all these splits through my count off. But I think we're approaching 20 spins. We lost right there. We're going to go ahead and double our bet. And then we're going to add in our second set of 12. And it goes just like this. Remember making that triangle. All right, $18 total bet. I'm at spin count 19. Not sure if that's super accurate, but I'm trying to keep up, guys. All right, we got a hit right there. That is a push. So I think, instead of increasing the other ones, I think on pushes, let's just hold the bet. I think that'd be a nice little added protection, right? So on pushes, let's hold our bet. Spin again, see what we get here. I got spin number 20 right now. All right, so holding on that push helped us out right there from losing more. That's a total loss, so every position needs to go up 1 unit. And again, this is very basic progression. You could make a D. Allen Burt out of it. I just haven't had the time to sit down and make a custom progression for this. Hoping that you guys might have some good ideas. If you do, let me know in the comments below. All right, so let's spin and let's see what we get here. Hopefully a win. 15 comes up. Is that covered? No, that's another complete whack. Another complete whack. That's back-to-back full losses. Let's go ahead and increase all by 1 unit. We're at a $42 total bet. We're currently minus 12. Keep in mind our high was 48. We get an 8. 8 is a covered number. And that's a $12 win. All right. $12 hit. We're back to base level bet. Since we lost on the other one, we are going to add 1 unit over there. So the other 12, we're adding 1 unit. Whatever hit, you keep it the same. Also, just thinking off the top of my head too, you could write out streaks. So maybe have a positive progression to increase the ones that hit. And you could see if I would have did a positive progression with that and increased those 12 numbers on the one that hit, that would have been a higher profit. But I'm just going to follow suit, trying to keep this strategy even. So we're at a $54 total bet. Also, too, maybe on wins, I shouldn't increase the other one. If you're in a net positive, maybe just hold the bet there. You can see because that just made that one a push. We hit 3 on that second set of 12 already. And I just cost us some profit by increasing the other side. So it might be worth noting, maybe on any net positive, just hold your bets there. Okay, so let's rebet, spin again. Hopefully it goes to the other side. And we get a 4. I think that's a good number. It is. So that's a $54 hit. And we are in session profit. We're up $60. Yeah, there's a few variations I want to do with this. I'm gonna go back to base, of course, but I'm just thinking off top of my head right now. And yeah, like I said, that positive progressions seems like it would work out good, you know, following those hot streaks. You can see they are offset, so if it's a push, maybe increase to it could just, I mean, you can hold it there because you didn't win or lose. Or like I said, if you're in any profit, there's no need to increase your bet, because then that increase, like if you were to hit a complete whack like we did right there, that's just going to be a higher loss and harder to recoup. All right, sorry, I'm just trying to think outside the box while I play. So we lost there, so we are doubling our bet, adding 2 units on that first 12 set. Now we're gonna go ahead and pepper in the 2 triangles. These are the next 12. Those are going to be offset. So $1 there and then $2 a piece on the other splits. Total number coverage just bumped up to 24. So increasing our winning percentage. We get a 35 black. I believe that's a good number. 18. All right, we're at 66. 66 is new session profit. So let's go back to our base level bet. 13, 23, and 35. All right, base level bet. I think I'm falling behind in the counts, but I think that's better to make longer videos anyway. So lost there. Let's repeat, spin again. And I just made this rule too to just increase after 2 consecutive losses to try to capitalize on early hits like we just got there. Not sure if that's a good move either. It might be good just to start out with a 24 number coverage and just have them offset, you know, so like one set of 12 will be at $1 a piece, the next set of 12 will start at $2 a piece. But we did get a hit right there. We are going to reset our count. We're still at our base level bet. New session profit is at $72, and we haven't used a lot of bankroll. We did start off with a pretty early loss streak, and we dipped down minus 42. So that is something to keep note of. It didn't use too much bankroll. We lost right there. We're going to repeat the bet and spin again. But yeah, now I'm thinking too, man, maybe starting at 24 is maybe a better option. So we lost 2 consecutives. We're going to double up, adding those 2 units to each of the bets. Now we're going to add in, of course, our triangle of the next 12. And we spin $18 total bet. I have the spin count at 30 right now. High is 72. We get an 18 red. That's a full whack. And that's another thing. Maybe on full whacks, we could hold it here and only increase if you get 2 consecutive. But I'm not going to keep making all these midway adjustments. I'm just going to go ahead and follow suit how I originally planned on playing this. And so let's go up 1 unit on all spots since that was a full whack. And that was back-to-back 18s. 34, is that covered? It sure as hell not. It's full whack again. So repeat, let's level up all positions. Again, we're keeping it very basic. 1 unit a piece. And that's really bad. That's 4 straight complete losses. So when I test, I like when this happens. That way, let me fix this. I think that's at 5. That's at 4. Yeah, that's at 5. Okay, so want to double check bet placement's correct. $54 total bet. Yeah, I do like when it gets tested. That lets me know and gives me confidence or lack of confidence on if it can or will come back. So we are back up into a $6 profit. I think it's best to hold our bets here. I'm thinking right now, let's go ahead and hold our bets since we are in a net win. And let's spin again. $28 comes up. Is that covered? It is. And you could see that balance. So let's rebet. We hit that 4, which was covered by that first dozen. I mean, not the first dozen, the first 12 that we chose. And then we hit on the other one, the other 12. So I'm thinking if you're in profit like this, the offset, you're still winning money. Some are just going to be a little bit more than the other. So I'm thinking what I was doing is hurting the system by making the other side that miss increase. But okay, let's roll out. You know, this is why we test. So let's spin again. Let's see what we get here. We're up 24 bucks. And we get 31. 31's another full whack. So they must all increase 1 unit. Okay, just making sure my bet placement's correct. And let's see what we get here. We're at spin 35. All right, super long losing streak. Had a couple wins peppered in between. But is this going to have enough juice to come back? Because the bet size is getting a lot higher. We should be hitting more times than not. We did hit our low of minus 96. 19 comes up, another full miss. Let's repeat. Let's go ahead and add another unit to each. All right, $90 already. Getting pretty high in the progression and low in our bankroll, 174. Finally got a hit. That's 54 bucks. Let's hold our bet here and spin again. And another whack. Another full whack. Let's repeat. Add our units. $23 comes up. That's a good number. 60 bucks. Okay, let's repeat. Spin again. We hit a low of minus 210. That's pretty deep. This is spin number 40. Got another win. Back-to-back wins. Okay, can it recover? Like again, we have 24 numbers covered. It should be hitting more times than not. 27 comes up. Is that covered? I think it is. There's a $42 win. Repeat spin. That's 3 wins in a row. And we are chopping back into, we're at minus 48, but we're getting close. That's put us in profit again. We're up 12 bucks. Remember, our high was 72 bucks. So let's repeat the bet. Spin again. Yeah, this might be the sauce, dude. This might be only increase if you get a full whack. I don't know. That might be the move. Because look, now we're on a winning streak. We're up 72. That is matching our session high. Let's see if we could grab another win. And of course, we couldn't get it. We're pushing it a little bit too much. It's okay. Let's go ahead and continue. Once we hit a new session profit, we'll stop because we passed the 45 spin mark. So I'm just going to finish off this progression. And 13 black comes up. That is a $66 hit. We're at 36 in profit. All right, rebent, spin again. Let's get a couple wins in a row. So that's what it seems to be, is you're going to need a couple wins in a row to get you back in profit. And we got a nice green number. Nice green number. We are at session high of 102. We're going to go ahead and stop the video right here. We did go on, and like I said before, I don't like when it goes like that when I use actual money, but I do like when it happens when I'm testing. That's why I kind of see where I could refactor my bankroll and resize it. Of course, you don't want to just resize off one session because this might be an outlier. This might be an outlier in the sense that it rarely goes that deep into your bankroll, but it could be on the opposite as an outlier. Maybe it does go deeper in your bankroll, and this is about the average point, right? You don't know. That's why you test. It's good. So if you're interested in the full breakdown, that's some very valuable information I'm giving out absolutely free in the description below. So if you're interested, check it out. As far as my views on this, I think this needs a little bit of work. So if you do got any input, please let me know. I think this one's a solid base, guys. I think those landing zones, I mean, it's you can see it does depend on, because we did accumulate a few whacks in a row. I think 3 or 4 was the max straight whacks, but then we'd get a win and then another whack, and then we'd get like 2 wins, another whack. So you do need the balance to favor your side, right? Your odds, because it does require a few wins in bunches to get you back into session profit. But then again, it didn't like go super deep and as deep as I thought it possibly could, because once we were in that losing streak, I thought, man, maybe we're just gonna lose all our money, but it did climb back. So anyways, let me know what you guys think about this, and if you guys have any input, please let me know. This is what we do. We try to make these strategies better. And yeah, until next time, guys, be cool, stay cool, peace.